What's up everybody, Haskins here. Got another awesome tutorial for you today. We're going to show you how to build this ship that not only flies in the air, this thing can land in the water and also cruise around in the sea. So when you're exploring out in the waters, don't worry, we got you covered here. This doesn't stop there though. We can also bring this thing on land and cruise around as well. Now I don't recommend using this as a land vehicle, but if you want to, you can. So another thing that I want to mention as well is this thing can go all the way down from the sky, hit the balloons and pop back up. I think that's kind of part of this mechanic, or just drop down and land it because it's so tough it's not going to break. But anyways, let's get into the build in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so here is a screenshot of all the materials you're going to need to complete this build. So feel free to pause this, do some exploring, get the materials if you don't already have them before proceeding into the build. Okay, so for the first part of this build, we're going to make our way over to toys and we're going to go over to our vehicle parts. And we're going to start by putting down a small car jack, just like that. And then we're going to grab this vehicle base 3, which is the 2x6x2, and we're going to put 5 of these. We're going to start by snapping one right in the middle, like that. We're going to put one off the back, and we're going to put 3 off the front, just like that. Next, we're going to move into our floor parts, and we're going to make our way down. So we find these like little square floor pieces. We're going to use this ancient floor 1, which is the 4x4x1. And the idea here is we're going to want to put this right in the middle of this piece towards the back. We're going to nudge it over just like that until it turns green. And we're going to nudge it to the right 1, 2, 3 spaces. And then we're going to place down one more. And then the easy way to get this second wing on is we're going to snap it into the one we just put on. We're going to nudge it over 2, and we're going to snap it in. And then just put one more on right there. Now we're going to also stay on the floors here, but this time we're going to grab the 12x2x1 ancient thin floor, and we're going to snap it in and just nudge it forward 2 spaces. You'll have a little bit of it hanging off the back just like that, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Now we can go back to our recents because we should still have this vehicle base 3, and so what we're going to do is take one of these and we're going to place it directly under this wing that we've just put on. We're going to do one on the other side as well. Now we want to protect the underbody of this aircraft, and what we're going to do this time is we're just going to take that same 12x2x1 that we used earlier on this part just above here. We're going to put one right on the underneath side of this block we just put down. We're just going to nudge it over until it's lined up with the one above it. We're going to also put another one down here on the other side. And then once we've got that in, we can start to place these on the underside of this, more of the nose of the plane. So we're going to place one here just like that. And then there's a combination of these other ancient thin floors in the floor section that you can start to snap in. Now this one's a little bit too large and that car jack's in the way. So we're gonna go with the 6x2x1. We're gonna place one down just like that. We're gonna do the same thing right here. Now we're gonna go back into floors where we're gonna find the 8x2x1 Shogun Palace piece. Now we're gonna put this right on the front here, lined up with the nose of the plane, just like that. And then from here, back to floors. Now this should be in your recents as well, where the ancient thin floor, the ancient floor 1, which is the 4x4x1. We're gonna snap one on the middle behind that piece, just like that. Now we're gonna follow that up with another 8x2x1, and we're just gonna snap it on just like this. Now this is gonna tell us exactly where we should place our seat now. So we're gonna go over into the toys section under the driver seats here. Now you could use any one of these, but we're going to go with the large driver seat for this particular build. We're just going to make sure that this is butt right up against the piece that we just put down, just like that. Now to widen this plane out a little bit and give it the balance that we need, we're going to go back to the floor pieces and we're going to grab the 12x2x1. We're going to snap this in just behind that square piece that we have up towards the front here. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, just like that. Now one of the cool things about this build again is these are all ancient thin floor pieces, and you should be able to have all this stuff in your recents. So just grab the 8x2x1 that we've been using already, and we're just going to flip this around with the tan part like facing forward, and we're going to hang it up right on the wing here, and we're going to nudge it forward till it's hidden completely under the piece you're seeing right now, and we're just going to nudge it out to the side 1. We're going to do the same exact thing on the other side, again placing this on the wing and then nudging it under until it's hidden, and then just out 1 just like that. Next, grab the 6x2x1 ancient thin floor, and we're just going to place one right on the back here. Now it's totally fine that you have it hanging off the edge like that. That's not a problem whatsoever, and actually helps out with the balance of this design. And now we're ready to start putting all the mechanical parts on so we can get this thing off the ground and go have some fun. So we're going to start up towards the front of the plane here for our thrusters, and you're going to see this little piece that I'm pointing at with that white dot. That's going to be our guide for the thruster placement towards the front. So what we're going to do is go into toys and grab a small thruster, and we're going to snap one in right underneath it, and we're going to put one on the exact same spot on the other side, just like that. Now for these, we're going to tune as we go along, and we're going to start by setting this one on channel 1 and turning off 3, and then we're going to set this to channel 2 and turn off channel 3. Now we're going to grab some more small thrusters, and we're going to place them right here under these side wings. We're going to put one there. We're also going to put one here. Now the key is using snap bow to just making sure they're good and centered on both sides like you're seeing right now. And now we're going to go back to our wrench where we're going to tune these up. Now here you're going to check this side again. Now this was channel 2. So what we want to do is actually set this one to channel 1. So this is going to be opposing forces for turning. Again, we're going to come check this other side. This is channel 1. So we're going to go ahead and set this one to channel 2. Now we're going to add some more small thrusters on the back, but the idea here is we're going to snap it into that silver block, and we're going to nudge it up until it's lined up with the top. Now you don't want it hanging over like this. We're going to have it just like that. We're going to do another one right here. Again, snap it in, just nudge it up one so they're nice and even. And then last, we're going to take the large thruster here, and we're going to snap it right into this piece. We're not going to move it at all. So just go ahead and snap into that silver piece and go ahead and set one down. Now we're going to add some balloons. These are the activated balloons and the small ones here. We're going to grab one of these here, and the best way to get these lined up is have it right in the corner on the back of your wing there, and we're going to go to the right 1, 2, 3 spaces, and then we're going to go down 1. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. This time we're going to be moving to the left 1, 2, 3 spaces and down 1, and then these are going to be placed right on the corners of these little tan spots on these floor pieces that we have sitting right underneath. So we're going to put one right there on the corner, and we're going to put another one here on the opposite side corner. Now we can add some lights just to give this thing a little bit more flair to it. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to go back into the toys under these vehicle parts, and we're going to scroll down to these little yellow angled light bars. Now what we can do here is just snap these in. We're going to do one right there and one on the opposite side of our seat, tucked right up against that kind of raised up floor piece there. And we could put one more on the front, right in front of our driver's seat, just like that. Now, there is one thing I recommend doing before taking off in here, and that's going to be jumping in our driver's seat, and we're going to check our controls. So now we should have our rear thrusters be set to channel 3. So I'm going to go ahead and hit channel 3 to make sure that both of those are activated. And we're just going to kind of swoop around here to make sure that no other thrusters are activated. So we're looking good. We know we've got those right. Now the other thing we're going to do is we're just going to simply activate channel 1. And we want to make sure that we have one on the side and one under the wing, just like we do there. So we're good, and that none of the rear thrusters are going off or none of your balloons. And then last but not least, let's go ahead and activate channel 2. And you can see we have one on the side and one under the wing with nothing else activated. And now last but not least, we're just going to go ahead and hit channel 4, which should activate all 4 of our balloons. Okay, so if you've got everything looking like that, we're ready to get this thing off the ground and do one last thing before we take off. Okay, so we could remove the car jack by just simply going up and hitting the button that it's prompting you on. In this case, I'm on Xbox. We're gonna hit the X button and hold it down. Now this thing is gonna flop down on the ground here. Now, what we're gonna do, the last thing I was talking about, is go back to the floor pieces we were using, and we're gonna go down back to the ancient thin floor section, and we're gonna grab this, what is it, the 6x2x1, and we're gonna snap one in right on the underneath side here to finish the bottom part. Now that was because that car jack was in the way, and now we're good to hop on in and take off. Okay, so now that we've got it down on the ground, let's hop in and talk about the controls and the best way to operate this. Now, if you want to get some height before you take off, again, all you need to do here is hit channel 4 for your balloons to activate. Now this thing lifts up pretty quickly because it's super lightweight, and these 4 balloons handled it very well. Now if you want to turn to the left, all we have to do is operate channel 1, and if we want to turn to the right, we're just going to hit channel 2. And now to move forward, just simply hit channel 3, and you are cooking. As you can see, there's no tilt. This thing isn't turning. It flies very straight. If you want to turn while you're moving forward, you could also do the same. This thing turns on an absolute dime and is one of the best features that this vehicle has to offer. One other thing I want to mention too is, although you can get out of your driver's seat with the balloons activated, I highly recommend not doing it, because sometimes what's going to happen is you're going to hop out, you might move and fall down to the ground and either die, or you're going to have your vehicle stuck up here and you're going to have to go get it. Now you might be wondering, how do we land this thing? I'm going to show you right now. Now I don't recommend trying to land it with any of the thrusters engaged without your balloons, because what's going to happen is it's going to dip down towards the ground like that. So what I do recommend doing is just making sure that you are back stationary like this. We're gonna let off the balloons, and this thing's just gonna go all the way to the ground pretty quickly. Now occasionally you might get some bounce, but just like that, you can see this thing did not even take any damage whatsoever. Because of the frost pine being so incredibly strong, you're not gonna really run any issues like that. Now the other thing too is, if you end up getting stuck like this, all you need to do is hit some of your turning thrusters to get off and just continue on your merry way. So like I said in the thumbnail, this thing can handle the air, this thing can handle the ground, and it can also handle the sea. So let's go ahead and show you how that works right now. So my absolute favorite thing about this is using it for water exploration as well. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So if you're flying over water and you want to actually use it to cruise around, all we're going to do is deactivate our balloons while we're up over the water. Now, as we start to make our way into the water, just quickly activate your balloons again and then deactivate. Now what this is going to do is it's going to set you right on top of the water, and now you can just simply cruise around as if this thing is just a jet boat, and you can turn very, very sharply in the water. I absolutely love it and plan on using this to explore various islands in our world. But yeah, and then if you want to get out of the water again, you can just simply hit your balloons and continue to cruise about. If you enjoyed this tutorial, go check out some of the videos that I'm putting on the screen right now, and also consider subscribing to the channel. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on some of the Lego Fortnite content that I put out. Also, give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments what's your favorite part of this vehicle. Thank you so much for tuning in. Haskins is signing off. I will catch you all in the next one.